Development is the phase of production where you get the idea and you flesh it out into a workable screenplay so that you can set your budget and attract investors so that you can get the money that you need to start pre-production. And in a nutshell, that's what development is. We're going to break it down a little bit further. In this phase are producer, screenwriter, and investor. We're going to focus on the producer. There are different producer types. There's executive producer. This is the person who just has the money. Like, say, let's think about Oprah. Oprah has enough money that she can invest in something and walk away. And typically that's what your executive producer might do. They may bring in a large sum of money, or they may hook up people who can bring in the money. They may be an entertainment lawyer who has saving you thousands of dollars because they are doing the contracts, connecting you to people who knows money, and then whatever. But whatever the case is, they're bringing in most of the money. They don't necessarily have to be on set. But without them, you're probably not going to get the production done. That's the executive producer. Now, because you're doing independent filmmaking, most people who come up with the idea and the funding, let me back up with independent filmmaking too. Independent filmmaking has different levels. Like, you have independent film studios and they still work with $1 million projects. They're just, all independent means is that it's a project that's made outside of the Hollywood system. Your budget level determines what you can do and how well the movie is going to look. So I'm coming from the guerrilla independent filmmaker standpoint where, hey, we don't have money. We're trying to be creative and use foil paper as our reflector. You know, I'm coming in from that viewpoint. So there's no budget here. I wish I had $20,000-$30,000 to do a project. I wish. You would be surprised at what I can do with that. But in Hollywood, a $20,000-$30,000 project is no budget at all. So the executive producer is just someone who funds that project. They're the big honcho when it comes to the money. And a lot of times they're really not involved in the creative. They're really not involved in the day-to-day operations at all. On a TV show, the executive producer might be the showrunner, you know. So then we get to what we all know as the producer, and that's why it's highlighted green. We're going to focus on the producer's role. So I'm going to go ahead and skip over that for right now and get to line producer. Now, the line producer kind of does what the producer does, but their focus mainly is that budget, and their focus is mainly making sure that we're spending the money. Like, if you want to rent out a camera, they may try to find the best deal for that camera somewhere so we can get it cheaper and stay under budget. They're not really looking at the creative aspect. They're looking at, as far as the vision and the overall look of the film, they're thinking about that bottom line. And they usually deal with above the line talent and below the line talent. They go through and they see all the things that we need from the script, and they try to, okay, it's going to cost this much to write this out. They really give us the line by line on all that and tally up that budget and make sure that we meet those standards. They're very important to a film, and that's why when you look at a major film, you'll see executive producer, line producer. That's why they're in the top billing, because they really make sure that money is allotted the way that it needs to be. Then you have co-producer. The co-producer is usually assigned in a task or 2 or 3 by the producer, and then they kind of manage those tasks. They don't do the overall set or the overall production. They manage those tasks for whatever phase of production that they're needed. Like, I may have a co-producer in the development and pre-production phases, whereas in filming I might use a different co-producer, and in post-production I might use a different co-producer. So, or I might use the same co-producer for all those phases. It just depends on how big the project is and how many people are part of the cast and crew in some way that helped us save money somewhere or get money in some way. Now we're going to focus on the key honcho, the person who's really running the set, and that's the producer.